hospital and I didn't know whether to say it or not. Yes, we're on our way to the hospital. I'm having my operation done today. If you're new here and you don't know like what I'm having done, basically having a what's called a polyp removed from my womb, and I'm also having some biopsies taken of the lining of my womb to check that there's nothing dodgy going on. Yeah, so that's what I'm having done basically. I've never ever had any like medical stuff before. Like I've only had my very first blood test in the last year and I'm 27, so everything's a little bit new to me, so I'm a little bit nervous, mainly about like just normal like medical stuff. I'm not really that bothered about the procedure. I think I'm just, you know, when it's like I really don't like needles, and you just don't know what to expect because you've never experienced anything like this before. I've experienced it through you, but like that's not been on me. Do you know what I mean? Like Becky's had operations before and I've been with her, but I've not experienced it myself, so which is obviously completely different. Plus I think when I was with you, I still didn't really get to see a lot of the process because I wasn't allowed in until you'd come back out. Was that so? Yeah. Do we think Becky should be allowed to stay with me today?
Well, I'll be there regardless.
Yeah. So I have actually been referred to a private hospital, but I just want everyone to know that that's been through the NHS and I'm not paying for this private hospital experience. This is funded by the NHS. My bosses were explaining to me that since COVID there's some departments, obviously this is the gynecology department, there's some departments that are still struggling with like huge waiting lists for like operations and stuff from the lockdowns and stuff that we've had over the past few years, and apparently gynecology is one of the departments that's still quite struggling, so some patients are being put into the private system but it's being paid for by the NHS, so in a way I feel a little bit lucky because I haven't had to wait very long. I got referred like back in end of September last year, had my first appointment November, I had scans and stuff November. Everything's kind of been in the time frames that they've suggested. It's not been longer, and the time frames have never been long, have they?
No.
Like I only found out I needed to have this operation I think it was about 5 weeks ago, and the consultant said to me, we'll need to do it between 4 and 6 weeks time, and obviously I think we're on like week 5, I'm not 100% sure, but it's within the time frame, so yeah, I'm quite lucky that I've not had to wait, because I fully appreciate that some people have had to wait years for operations because of COVID and stuff, so yeah, I feel quite lucky. Yeah, anyway, so we're on our way. We'll do a few clips today to document the experience and stuff. I was going to vlog like the week leading up to it and I just haven't, mainly because we've been really busy. That's nothing new, is it? Yeah, you can't see me very well because of the shadow. But yeah, we've been quite busy. We've been finishing uni, and we've been organising some events at the cricket club for Jubilee weekend next week and stuff, and we've just been doing so much stuff, haven't we? Yeah, anyway, so I'm gonna go and I shall see you when we get to the hospital. We'll see what it's like, see what the experience is like, see what Becky can tell us if the experience is much different to her experiences in the past as being in a normal hospital.
Well, I mean, I've only been to pre-op the other day, and Jesus Christ.
It's already different. Walking into this hospital is not like walking into a hospital, it's like walking into a hotel.
Yeah,
isn't
literally.
it? Yeah.
It's like people to greet you.
Yeah, there's like a reception area when you go in, and with sofas and stuff, it is completely different.
You are very...
I'll film when we get there.
You are very lucky.
Yeah. I'm grateful though.
Yeah, definitely.
Becky's just said, I bet there's no other patients walking in with a Primark bag. So this is my room. TV. And then a little private bathroom down there. And Becky was allowed in. Everyone was being told they weren't allowed people, and then I was like, but my letter says I can have somebody. And then they said it was fine, didn't they? So
Yeah.
I think it must say.
We've only just got in here. So
Yeah.
there is potential that I could get kicked out.
I don't think you will though, because
It's a private room.
it is a private room, so I don't think I think that doesn't matter. Anyway,
We're in.
we're in.
Hello, it is me. It is 11 minutes past 9 and Emma went down to theatre about 15 minutes ago. I've just been texting her mum, keeping her updated. We do love our Jen, don't we? Hopefully she should be back in this room around 11 o'clock, so only about 2 hours. I don't know who's more emotional, me or her. But yeah. It's hard, isn't it? Like, I can't, well, I do know what she's feeling. I've had an operation before, but I think Emma's never really one for being poorly. She's always on like tip-top form, so I think it's just hitting a little bit hard. Like, she's fine, hopefully the results are going to be fine, but I know how worried she is, and that's making me upset. Anyway, I've got a telly to watch. I'm allowed free drinks, food I have to buy. I've just had a croissant. Oh, she's not been here. I was gonna get like a sausage bar, and I thought that would be so cruel because she loves that, but she doesn't like croissants, so I'll get a croissant. So then she don't feel like she's missing out. Emma's ordered her food for when she comes out as well. She got like a whole menu of things she could pick, like jacket potatoes, sandwiches, paninis, like proper good stuff, like salads as well. Well, that's really cool. So yeah, so she's probably in theatre now. I imagine she would have been put to sleep by now. She went down about 20 minutes ago now. Yeah, so hopefully the procedure won't take too long, and then she can be in recovery for up to an hour, they said, because I was like, look, I need to know what times I'm looking at. So like, if I know it goes past like 11:30, then I can be like, excuse me, like, where is she? Because when I had my operation, there was some complications, and my operation took longer than expected, and then it took me longer to recover in recovery as well. So yes, anyway, so I've got the timings for that. The nurse has said that she'll keep me updated as well, which is nice. I'm keeping Jen updated as well. Jo is currently, or will be, she's about to go shopping. We decided that we'd do like a little care package for her, you know, like her favourite treats and some new pyjamas, and you know, just a little something. And then yeah, so ...2 hours. Let's go. Okay, so it's 10:43. She's nearly been gone for 2 hours, and the nurse looking after her has just come in and said she should be back really soon. And she was coming to get the room ready, but I'd already done it. And by that, I pulled the quilt back. So she should be here in a minute, so I'll put my laptop away and my notebook, and just wait for her now. Fingers crossed she's okay. I'm putting a tenner bet on myself that I'll cry. I'm not sure about her. I'll definitely cry when I see her. Update. It's now 10:49. It's only been 2 minutes. Nurse has just come in and said she's gonna go and get her now. Excited to see her little face. Oh, I hope she's okay. I'll see when she comes in. I don't think I'll film her coming in because I don't think she's like that. But when she's woken up a bit more, then I'm obviously gonna put the camera on her. What's your name, my lovely? Oh, thank you. Fabulous. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Much comfier on this bed, isn't it? Thank you. Yeah. Sure. As bad as she put up, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah? Did you cry at the needle? No. Hey! That's a first. Yeah.
You can take this off now.
Yeah, you can take it off now. How you feeling?
Oh, really dry mouth.
Yeah, she's going to get you a drink. Yeah?
I've already had 2 cups because it's really dry.
Have you?
Tummy pain.
Tummy pain.
I've had morphine
Okay.
and paracetamol. Hey, okay.
Just got a drink.
Are you upset?
Just been worried.
It's not nice, is it? Has it gone long?
2 hours, literally. 2 hours and 3 minutes, actually.
I can feel
She's back. She's been back for about 45 minutes now.
Yeah.
She's finally starting to perk up a little bit.
Yeah.
How'd it go?
Well, I think it went alright. The nurse and the... I don't know if she was a nurse or not, no idea. But the lady that was next to me when I woke up said that it was written in my notes that it went well and not to worry about anything. But I haven't seen my doctor yet. He's obviously going to come and see me. Tell me how it went properly. I'm in a lot of pain. Well, I am and I'm not. I am, but they're giving me morphine, so it's calmed it down a lot. Just more achy now rather than painful, but got like period type pain and backache, but like period type backache sort of thing.
Yeah.
Well, the backaches, when I got more morphine, the backache eased quite a lot. That's all I really know at the minute. I've got the driest mouth ever. I don't really drink water, but I've had so much water already. When I first woke up, they were like, "You okay?" I could barely speak just purely because there's like no moisture in my mouth. They're like, can you tell me your name? And I was like, I was trying to like lick my teeth to try and like put some moisture in my mouth, and even that was like, my tongue was like dry as a bone. That's the Harvey Desert.
Oh dear.
So I've had like...
Yeah, she's got a jug of water now.
Yeah. Yeah, this is like my 4th thingy of water. Which, if you know me, well, that's probably the most water I've had this year. Don't drink water. I mean, I know I should, but in its simplest form anyway, not mixed with cordial. Yeah, it's probably the most water I've had this year. Yeah, it went alright.
What have you requested for tea?
At home, bolognese.
And bolognese.
I've got a panini on its way here. I had to order a meal before I went down before, which is bizarre. So I've ordered a ham and cheese panini and some vanilla ice cream. And they kept trying to push a hot drink on me, and I was like, I don't drink hot drinks. So I've got orange juice instead.
That's good. I feel like that's going to make you drier.
Yeah, probably. And I've got a proper duvet. It's nice and warm actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had paracetamol, 2 lots of morphine, obviously don't know how much the dose is, and some anti-sickness at the minute, and I'm just waiting to find out properly how it went.
And we'll update them.
Yeah.
I had to get that. Actual proof she's drinking water. You need to swallow it though.
I've been swishing it around my mouth because like it's all hair's been like sticking to my teeth, and yeah. Apart from the dry mouth, I'm guessing the anaesthetics, because I've never been put to sleep before, so they don't know whether I react or not to it. I'm guessing everything's fine, just very dry mouth.
Oh dear. Oh, hang on, let me mute the telly bob. There we go. Food's arrived.
Yeah. It's quite fancy.
Oh, it's that ice cream you don't like?
It's not nice ice cream. Well, it's okay, but don't really take it.
Hello. So, that last clip I was having my panini. It's now the 7th of June, so it's been a week and 3 days now since I had it done. So I think on the vlog clip, my doctor hadn't been to see me yet, so I hadn't given you an update. So basically, I don't properly remember what the doctor said to me because I was kind of out of it, and Becky asked lots of questions. Basically, my gynaecologist who did the procedure came in and said that well, I actually don't know whether he's removed the polyp or not, because he's not actually said whether he has or not, because I know he had some struggles. So basically, I had a hysteroscopy, I think it's called. It sounds like hysterectomy, but it's not, obviously not hysterectomy, it's hysteroscopy, I think, which is basically like a camera that gets inserted, and they kind of have a look around. That was like part of what I was supposed to be having done. I was also supposed to be having this polyp removed. Now I'm not sure whether he's actually managed to do that or not, because he said when he got in there, so basically what they do is they kind of imitate what happens when you give birth, when you go in labour. So you know, like when a woman's gonna give birth to a baby, you have to wait for you to be like 10 centimetres dilated, so obviously that you've like opened up, sort of thing. I know that's not, this is a bit like TMI now. And basically what they do is they imitate that. So they dilated me to 10 centimetres, and then they fill you with water, so they literally the same as what happens during pregnancy, and then they put the camera in, and so they can get a clear image. Now I don't know if I've actually said on the vlogs or not, but basically I have had a period that hasn't stopped since February.
So I've constantly been bleeding since like the 2nd week of February this year, and what's that, we're now in June, so February, March, April, May, 4 months now I've been bleeding non-stop, and it's been fairly light, to be fair, consistently for 4 months solid. But the week before, literally 7 days before I was having this procedure done, it got very heavy. So we think I might have had a period, but obviously we can't say for sure because I've never actually stopped bleeding in 4 months straight. So anyway, it got very heavy, and it was still heavy on the day that I went in for this procedure. So he basically said when they've obviously filled my womb with water, because there was a lot of blood in there, the blood mixed with water makes the water very murky, so he couldn't see very well. And I think because of that, I don't think he did remove the polyp, but because he couldn't see properly what he was doing. But basically one of the things that they were checking for was to see how like thick the lining of my womb is, because obviously if the lining of the womb doesn't shed monthly, then it's just going to keep building up. So he has confirmed that was very thick, so he's taken lots of biopsies of the lining of the womb, because obviously if that keeps building and gets thicker, then that can cause problems. And ultimately the main concern is that there could be cancerous cells in my womb. My cervix, he said, looked really healthy, so there's absolutely no chance that I've got cervical cancer, which is good. And there's nothing abnormal looking there, but the actual, so the cervix is lower, the womb's higher, which obviously the womb is where like a baby would grow if you were pregnant. Yeah, so he basically said that from what he could see on the camera, because obviously the water was very murky because there was a lot of blood going on, but from what he could see, it didn't look right, and he was supposed to be, I was supposed to be having the Mirena coil fitted, because what the Mirena coil does, obviously it can stop you from getting pregnant and people use it as contraception, but for me it would be being used as a treatment because it releases the hormone, I can't pronounce it, progesterone, directly into your womb, which keeps the lining thin. Obviously it stops you from having periods altogether, but it doesn't allow the lining to build up and get thicker, it keeps it thin. So I was supposed to be having that fitted. However, he said because when he was looking in there, his words were that the architecture of my womb was abnormal, and the lining's very thick, and he basically said it looked very concerning to him. So he's taken more biopsies than he planned to, and he hasn't inserted the coil because he wasn't sure whether it would sit correctly, because I've got an abnormal architecture, which to me he's saying it's an abnormal shape. So I don't know, that's literally all I know. He said that he sent the biopsies off as urgent because he was very concerned that there's a chance that there's something concerning going on. So I've been warned that, but at the minute urgent biopsies is taking about 3.5 weeks to come back, so we're just over a week now, so we're looking at another 2 to 2.5 weeks at the minute waiting. So at the moment I'm just on a waiting game to see where we're up to. I'm waiting for the biopsies to come back. I had a letter yesterday came through that says just confirms what I went in for. I had biopsies taken. They didn't insert the Mirena coil because of abnormal architecture inside the womb. It says there was poor visualization. Yeah, so it just says that they took multiple biopsies and they will write to me with the biopsy report, and that they'll arrange to see me in the clinic in a few weeks' time. So I'm literally just waiting for the results, and then when we get the results I'm going to see the gynecologist again and decide what's next. So I still need to have the coil ideally, but obviously it wasn't sorted. So yeah, that's just where I'm up to in terms of recovering. I feel alright now. I had quite a bit of pain the first day because basically they kind of replicated what happens when you give birth. Everything had been stretched, so had to wait for that to all naturally go back to normal. So like going to the toilet for the first 48 hours was quite painful because everything had been stretched. Obviously, luckily I actually hadn't given birth to a baby, but yeah, so that all needed to go back to normal. And I got told I'd have like really heavy bleeding for up to 10 days, which is starting to calm down, but it's still there, which is annoying because yeah, I haven't had a break since February. And usually I never bleed, like that's what my issue usually is that I never get a period, and now I've got one that won't stop, which obviously that symptom's concerning because a bleeding that doesn't stop is a sign of something dodgy going on. So yeah, so I'm literally just waiting, but yeah, pain wise, that's what I was saying, heavy bleeding and like period style cramps I was expected to get, and I did get that, and I got like backache and stuff. The first like I say, the first 48 hours were probably the worst, but I was on cocodamol every like 4 hours, and that seemed to do the job. I also got a heat pad that my cousin recommended, which worked really well, and yeah, it seems to have like eased now. Every now and again I keep maybe having like hour spells where it hurts a little bit, but I'm pretty much alright. I'm just not allowed to lift anything for 4 to 6 weeks, which I wasn't expecting, but I think it's because of obviously they're taking some biopsies, so there was like incisions made, so it's just whilst that's like healing and stuff. But yeah, I think I'm gonna have to have that procedure done again. It's not been said, but it's highly likely that I'm gonna have to have it done again, because he couldn't see properly. Obviously we don't know what's going to come back from these biopsies either, so yeah, so it's not the end of the road yet, and obviously there's still a long way to go, but the minute we're in no man's land, we don't know what's going on. But one step closer, the biopsies have been taken, so it's now just sit and wait. But yeah, I'm feeling alright about it. Obviously I am worried. I am worried that it's the worst, but you know, if it is, it is. There's not much that I can really do about it. Fingers crossed it isn't, but if it is, then I'll just have to deal with it when we get to it. But yeah, so I'm trying to keep myself busy. So it's now Tuesday the 7th. Joe and Becky are in work all day, all week, so they're both in work today. I go back in work on Thursday, so I'll be in work all day Thursday, Friday this week, because my family were on holiday. They came back on Sunday, and they basically said they can manage without me until Thursday to give me a little bit longer to make sure that I'm properly recovered. I think it helps because they're doctors, and well, they're both anaesthetists, so they put people to sleep, so they deal with like operations on the daily, so it really helps that they understand recovery times and stuff. So they've been very understanding, so yeah, they've said that I don't need to go back until Thursday, but they need me on Thursday, Friday. So yeah, so that's the update. That's where we're up to. When I was editing the first part of this vlog, seeing Becky upset made me upset, bless her. But I said it's horrible waiting. When Becky had her back operation, I think she briefly mentioned it earlier on in the vlog, when she had her back operation, they wouldn't let me in. This was at the Salford Royal Hospital in Salford, obviously. That's where she had her back operation. Becky has 2 slip discs in her back, and she had spinal surgery to like reshape the slip discs so that they weren't pressing on like the central nervous system, because she used to get really bad sciatica and like nerve pain because these slip discs were pressing on the nerves. So she had like major spinal surgery, which is very dangerous, because if they do anything slightly wrong and like slightly damage the spinal cord, which I don't know, if you don't know, it's very delicate, then she could have ended up paralysed basically. Obviously we wasn't expecting the worst. The doctors know what they're doing, but there is a risk of that. Anyway, this surgery with Becky was supposed to last a maximum of about 3 hours. I think, well, they said it would be about a 2 to 2.5 hour surgery and then another hour in recovery. So you're looking at about 3.5 hours in total before she would have come back from her going down. And I was in the waiting room because they wouldn't let me on the ward, but I wasn't leaving because she'd never had like major surgery before, and she was quite nervous. She was only 21 at the time, and not long since lost her mum, and so she just wasn't in the right state of mind to be on her own in that hospital. So I waited in the waiting room, and they told me, they actually, like, once she'd like got the gown on and stuff and had like the cannula done and everything, they let her wait in the waiting room with me until it was her turn, because she didn't end up, we got there for like 7:30 in the morning, similar to I did, but she was quite low down on the list, so she didn't end up going until after lunchtime.
Anyway, when she goes down, off she goes. See you later, you know, I'll be here when you get back, all that stuff. Sat in the waiting room. Gets to about 3.5 hours, and like, her dad was messaging me on and off, and I was like, oh, she should be back soon, because they said, you know, 2.5 hours and an hour in recovery, so hopefully she's been in recovery, she should be back on the ward soon. Gets to 4 hours, not heard anything. Becky's dad rang the ward and said, could he have an update, and they basically were like, oh, she's not back yet. Then it gets to 5 hours, and he rang again and was like, where is she? And they were like, oh, I think there's been some problems, but she's absolutely fine, but I think she's only just come out now into recovery. But when you was expecting like 3.5 hours for it to then add on another 2.5 hours, she didn't come back to the ward until it had been nearly 6 hours later. And it's one of them things, like, you know deep down that everything's fine, but your mind can't help itself and start to go to like other places and start worrying, especially when they said that there'd been a few problems. Basically, she's got an irregular heartbeat, and I think her heart rate had dropped a couple times, so that had slowed things down, because there was a couple times I think they'd had to stop what they were doing to make sure her heart rate was okay. Yeah, but anyway, that all went fine, but I've said to her over the years how horrible it is waiting when someone that you care about is in surgery and it takes longer, or you can't help but worry. So yeah, it made me upset seeing her on the vlog get upset, because I know how horrible it is, and I'm sure you guys, if you've ever waited while someone's in surgery, it's not nice. It's not a nice experience, but yeah, anyway. So what am I doing today? I'm trying to sort out Main Street Maker, actually. I'm gonna start selling some more cups, not just Starbucks cups, but I've got some other cups. I'm gonna start like sorting Halloween and Christmas. I didn't get to do a Christmas range last year because I was so busy with uni, and I was talking to Joe this morning and I was saying I'm gonna try and make like pre-make stock for Halloween and for Christmas, and hopefully I don't have to like close the shop between September and Christmas because uni's busy. Fingers crossed, because hopefully we'll have prepared. I mean, I might not prepare and it might end up being the same as last year, but hopefully it isn't. So yeah, that's where I'm up to, and that's my update and everything. I don't know if I'll vlog much more, but yeah, that's where I'm up to. I'm in the house on my own. Doodles is downstairs, I'm up here. Yeah, but I'm good. I'm good. I'm all recovered. Well, I say I'm all recovered. I might not be all recovered inside, but I feel okay. Yeah. So yeah, see you in the next clip. Hello. Good morning. It's now the next day and it's Wednesday. So Wednesday the 8th of June. And I thought I would just finish this vlog off today. I'm currently just getting ready to go to my first session with a nutritionist who specialises in weight loss and nutrition, obviously, but specifically for women who have hormone problems and suffer with things like polycystic ovary, and hormone imbalances, and like endometri, I don't know how to pronounce it, but you know what I mean. Basically, she specialises in nutrition for people with a hormone problem, and hopefully I'm going to learn what foods will make my hormones worse and what foods will make them better. And hopefully she knows what foods are good to try and regulate your menstrual cycle, and get things working as they should do, basically. So I will just say, like I said at the start of this vlog, I had my procedure done and I'm currently under a gynaecologist who is private, at a private hospital. However, I am being fully funded as an NHS patient. I've been referred there as an NHS patient. Now, my gynaecologist that I am under has recommended that I start seeing a nutritionist / dietitian who specialises in hormones, to help me, obviously to lose weight, but not just to lose weight, but to help me understand how much food can play a part on hormones and stuff. And basically,
he has asked my GP if the NHS can refer me to one, and the NHS have said no, that they don't fund things like that. So I am going to see a private nutritionist. I'm quite fortunate that my mum and dad have offered to pay. I definitely can't afford it. It isn't cheap. I'm not going to go into how much it's costing right now, but if you're interested and want to know how much it's costing, I will do a separate video. But yeah, it's not cheap. I'm very lucky that my mum and dad are able to pay and have offered to pay. Yeah, so anyway, I'm going to go for my very first session this morning with the lady. It's an hour and a half. My appointment actually starts in 15 minutes, so I need to leave. Yeah, so I thought I'd just say that's where I'm going, and when I get back I'll film again and tell you what I thought of it. So let's go. Hello. So it's now much later on in the day. It's 7:20. Joe should be home from work soon. Becky's upstairs on a Zoom call. And I just thought, oh, I should pop on and tell you how it went, because I haven't had a chance to because when I got back, I literally came in, I had something to eat, and then let me put the camera on this side actually, because the window's making me go a bit dark. There we go. I came in, had something to eat, and then went and met Becky and Joe in the park with the kids for an hour. And then when I got back, I was literally home for an hour, I think, if that. Yeah, and then I went to my mum's house because my mum was asking how it went, and I went and explained everything to her. And then I've been pretty much out since until now, because I went there and then I went and picked up a prescription for Becky, and then I went to Sainsbury's and bought some stuff that was recommended to me this morning. Yeah, and I thought, I've just been sat here having a little snack, and I thought, oh, I better fill you in. I've just had these for the first time ever, by the way. These lentil chips, barbecue. Actually really nice. Highly recommend if you've never had them before. Yeah, anyway, it went really well. It was my first session. So the first session was supposed to be an hour and a half, and then all my sessions after that are supposed to be 45 minutes, but she ended up doing an hour and 15 instead, because she wants to see me for an hour next week. Yeah, it went really well. I got weighed and had other things measured as well, like how much water, what percentage of my body is water and what percentage of my body is fat, how much I weigh, what my BMI is, what my blood sugar levels are. Like, literally tested me for so many things. And basically the lady that I'm seeing specialises in like polycystic ovary and other female hormonal like disorders, and how she specialises in how your weight can be affected by the hormones and stuff, and how certain foods can affect your hormones and can stop you from losing weight because of the hormone problem. So I've basically discovered that I've always been overweight, obviously partly because I eat the wrong choices, but also partly because I have polycystic ovary. And she didn't say that, she did say this today, but she also said this to me on a phone call a few weeks ago when I had the first initial phone call, and it actually made me cry a few weeks ago, but it didn't today. But she said to me a few weeks ago, the fact you are overweight is not your fault. And she was like, don't ever feel like it's your fault for overeating, because there's a reason why you've overeaten, because you've got a hormone imbalance, and you can't, I can't overcome the cravings of wanting to eat more pasta and wanting to eat more pizza and more bread. She was like, that's part of you, and you will always struggle with cravings if your hormones aren't balanced, because they affect everything. So yeah, she really made me feel quite emotional the other week, but obviously I've kind of come to terms with it all now. But yeah, so I had my first session, it went really well. She kind of explained everything to me, gave me all the like, information and stuff. Yeah, and she's really nice. Turns out that she actually goes to the cricket club quite regularly, because her son plays cricket there, which was interesting. We had a chat about that. We were chatting about everything that's been going on recently with the surgery. Obviously she hopes that the biopsies come back alright. But yeah, it was good. So basically the way that what we're doing is, the aim is for me to lose weight, but in not just lose weight, also balance the hormones. And we're not getting hooked up on calories, and we're not getting hooked up on how much weight I lose week by week. We're not looking at how many pounds or stones I've lost. Well, we are, but that's not the aim. The aim is to reduce the percentage of fat that I have on my body and to balance the hormones, and the way to do that is to balance my blood sugar levels. So rather than me counting calories, I'm actually counting glycemic load, which is for short would be GLs, and I'm allowed 45 GLs a day basically. So I'm allowed 10 for the breakfast, 10 for lunch, 10 for tea, and then I'm allowed 3 snacks a day at 5 GLs each. I'm still learning about what they are, but the GLs are what affects your blood sugar levels basically. And there's 4 different types of polycystic ovary. I can't remember all 4 types, but one of them is an insulin resistant type of polycystic ovary, which she is like 95% confident is this type that I have. She explained that it is hereditary and it runs in families, and that the diet that I'm gonna follow to try and tackle the polycystic ovary will be similar to that of a diabetic lifestyle and diet, even though obviously I've not got diabetes. I have recently been checked for that, just to double check I'm not on the road to that, and I'm not. But we think that my type of polycystic ovary is an insulin resistant one, so it's all about balancing my blood sugar levels basically. So even though I don't have diabetes, it'll kind of be a diet that's kind of similar to if I did, because I'll be trying to balance the blood sugar levels, and once the blood sugar levels are balanced and like not going like that and are going like that instead, then I should stop craving. Like, I get really intense cravings. I should stop having mood swings. Hopefully over time it should regulate my menstrual cycle. Obviously there's other issues going on there anyway at the moment, and it should what was the other thing? Mood swings, cravings, menstrual cycle. What was the other thing? I literally just had it on the tip of my tongue and it's gone. Can't remember. Anyway, so yeah, so that's the plan. I've got a lot to learn. I've got some targets for this week to do, and we'll just see how it goes. I'm probably not going to talk too much on the weekly vlogs about it. I might do, I might not, I don't know how I feel, but I'm not going to talk too much about how much weight I have or haven't lost. I don't want to feel pressure to update you guys all the time about how much weight I have or haven't lost, but I'll happily like talk to you guys about the process and stuff. Yeah, so it was very positive, it was very good, and I feel like ready to go and stuff. Yeah, like I say, I went to Sainsbury's about an hour ago and went and bought some stuff that she recommended to me. But yeah, so there's like some foods that don't have a GL rating at all, and they're like, those foods are classed as 0, so I can have as much as that as I want. So things like meat, protein basically, so like most like white meat, white fish, eggs, avocado, although I've actually never tried avocado, so I've no idea if I like it or not. They're all 0, so I can pretty much have as much. She literally gave me the example. She was like, most people don't binge eat on like chicken and salmon and stuff, but she was like, honestly, if you really wanted to have 2-3 chicken breasts for your tea, you can do, because she was saying protein doesn't affect your blood sugar levels, whereas things with a GL rating, for example carbohydrates, do. So if I eat a lot of pasta, that's going to cause my blood sugar levels to go really high, but I could eat 1 chicken breast or 5 chicken breasts, but that's not going to affect my blood sugar levels, and that's what we're focusing on, and hopefully balancing that should help me lose weight, because I could follow a really good weight loss plan, whether that be like Slimming World or Weight Watchers or whatever else there is out there, calorie counting, but if I'm eating too many foods that are high in GLs, they might be low in calories and they might be low in fat, but if they're high in the GLs, then basically I'm not going to lose weight because of my polycystic ovary. So that's what I've learned basically, is that's why sometimes when I have tried to lose weight, it's not worked, because they might be low in fat and they might be low in calories, but it's high in this GL, which will cause the blood sugar levels to go high or drop down low, either or, which would then cause me to still feel hungry and still want to just crave more food basically. Yeah, so that's what I was going to say. So it should stop me from feeling hungry all the time when the blood sugar levels get balanced. Yeah, so no, it's all very positive, it's all going to plan. So far, obviously it's first day. I've actually barely eaten anything today, which is not what I'm supposed to do, because I'm supposed to eat quite regularly. But you know, when I woke up and I was like, I don't know whether to eat breakfast or not, because I don't know what to have. I know I'm starting this today, so I didn't end up eating breakfast, which is, everyone knows, is the worst mistake possible to make. You should always eat breakfast. Pardon me. And then did the appointment 10 till nearly 11:30. So the first time I ate anything was at midday, which I had an omelette with a bit of ham in it. And then the only thing I've eaten since then, I've had 3 cans of Diet Coke, this bag of lentil crisps, and a Belvita soft bake biscuit thing before I went to Sainsbury's before. That's all I've eaten, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm absolutely ravenous. But anyway, so I'm gonna go now. Thank you very much for watching this vlog. I hope you've all made it through from start to finish. We've not bored you too much with it was a very heavy operation / polycystic ovary weight loss vlog. You might be bored to tears, or you might have found it really interesting. Either way, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please do give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed watching it. Please let me know if you want me to talk about my journey that I'm currently on, or whether you are not bothered about it. I won't be offended either way. Yeah, I won't be offended if you're not bothered. But like, I don't want to like talk too much about it on the vlogs if no one's interested, but then I don't want to not talk about it and then people are like, how are you getting on? Do you know what I mean? So anyway, yeah, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I shall see you next week with the first proper midweek vlog that we'll have filmed since January, February? I don't even know how long it's been, but yeah, see you next week.